Hey everyone, welcome to OutSystems. My name is Sydney Lai, and today we are going to be building a reactive web application using low code. And to make this fun, we're going to create a rocket launch application so that you can decide when and how you will launch your rocket into space. Now, to get started, if you're looking for support or you're looking to support others, I highly recommend you joining our OutSystems community. There you can share ideas, you can learn from other developers, and just hang out. With that being said, today we're going to look at Tableau. Now, Tableau is a data visualization tool, and what this will allow you to do is pull open source data from NOAA and then decide if the weather is good and clear for you to safely launch your rocket. Now, you're going to learn three things today. Number one, you're going to learn about how to integrate Tableau's JS API into your reactive web application. You're also going to learn how to build a library for reusability. Now, lastly, of course, you're going to create your super awesome mission control application and make Elon Musk proud. What this is going to look like is, here is a demo of the application. You have this API pulling this weather data, and then based off of the decisions, you can decide, hey, do I want to launch my application or abort mission? It's not ready to go. There's going to be two main documentations that Tableau provides. One is accessing the API, and then number two, the basic embed to grab that information. Now, just to get started, you're going to open your Service Studio, and you're going to have your reactive web application as well as your library. With that being said, let's get started on the library. I've already gotten started. I've created a screen. You can create a widget for the API, but a huge thing to remember is to set this to public yes, and then also we're going to get started on creating the action flow, or what we can call the logic, right? So one of the things that you have here, you want to make sure it's on ready, and go back to this and double check that, yep, the event also needs to be on ready, so clear to go. Now, to get started, you also want to make sure that you have the right script, right? So you go into your systems, reference the script right here. There's the client action, and you can go and drop that client right there, and you can reference it here. All right, there's going to be a URL, and if you go back to the documentations, it's going to tell you right here. If you have a thorough read through, it's going to tell you pretty directly which one you need to reference, but depending on what you're watching this video, you want to make sure that you reference the most recent version. And if you read a bit more, you can see that they're going to mention to use this. Now, this is example, but we're going to use the public Tableau server that they provide. And again, that's what's going to be the latest version that we just referenced above. So this is going to be the first, and then we're going to use this as the second, right? So here, made it a little bit easier. Copy that. Put it right there. Great. Now we're also going to add another. All right. And then script. All right. All right. And make sure that it's the right one, and it looks good. All right. Now, we also want to make sure that you can drag the JS widget here, and this is going to be a little bit extra. Go back to your embed document. This is what we're going to use. You want to start at the function here, and you want to embed that right in here, right? But also double check, it's going to ask for the URL and its parameters. What we're going to do is create two input parameters. One is a widget ID, and then number two, you're going to create the URL. All right. Now, if that's looking good so far, one of the things that I want you to really pay attention to now is changing this visualization container. Here we go. Create the parameters, widget ID, and then this we're going to want to save for later. But you can see here, HTTP, make sure it's HTTPS so that it matches the other ones. Parameter URL, and then, okay, we want to make sure that you also declare the variable. Hopefully by my silence you can read my mind, but if not, I'll go ahead and drop a note for other folks. Yeah. All right. And also, I'm going to make sure that you call the function. Here we go. That should work for you. And as you can see, what we just created, we have the widget, the URL. This is going to ask for a div container. I'm going to show you how to create that, but let's reference this URL for now. And then go back to the API, to the widget tree, and we're going to drop a container right here. Remember to enclose with an if and then set it to false. And because we're setting this to false, I want to make sure you open this and drag that container to false, and then renaming it to, let's say, Tableau div. Right? And then just as a placeholder, let's create it, just drop an icon right here. Here we go. All right. Good so far. Now, at this rate, you are ready to create the front end of the application, the visual aspect. So we're going to toggle to the screen. I've done the easy stuff. I've gone ahead and create a home screen, a launch screen, an abort screen, and drop the buttons right there. But as we had just finished creating the library, I want to make sure that you're also able to reference the library. So we want to go ahead and find it. Live. Where? Yeah, let's see. Oh, you know what? Maybe we need to double check what the error is because it is not. We have forgotten to reference the div container and got excited. So go ahead and publish that. And as it's getting published, let's go back to the front and go ahead and find it again. Here we go. Now it shows up, right? Check all the boxes, apply, and there it is, your library that you've just created. Now, when you go ahead and grab the widget, drop it above your buttons. If I can just get it right, I'm a little bit, yeah, here we go. Awesome. Now, here's the URL. We want to make sure, this is super important, that it starts with HTTPS, because right here, if you see the public, HTTPS, just the right, gotta make sure we do it. Here we go. And all right, that there is done. We want to make sure, I'm pretty sure if we got two errors, we want to make sure that once the user clicks on the button, it can go to the right screen. So, right, the launch button goes to the launch page, and the abort button goes into the abort page. Now, we're going to go ahead and publish this. And as it's publishing, I want to just remind you that when you're on your launch screen, you can go ahead and just drop a image widget, drop it in there. Once you have it in there, of course, you can import whichever GIF, image, whatever you want, and you can import it. Logos as well, and you just want to do the same for the abort page. And yes, as you can see, abort mission, that's not going to work. So what have we done so far, right? We have created the library, we've created the action flow, we've referenced the correct script, also included the JS for the API itself, and the moment of truth, we want to make sure that once this is published, it really shows the visualization tool, right? Is this going to work? Can we read the weather data and make a decision if it's time to launch our rocket? Now, as you can see here, this doesn't show up, right? So remember when I mentioned the URL, right, of the HTTPS? We want to make sure that it's all done accurately throughout, and I'm just double checking everything at this point. Right, so if you click here, HTTP, HTTPS. All right, publish this again, and I think at this rate, it should be able to work. And as it's publishing, just as a quick reminder, when you go here, these are not consistent. This HTTP, HTTPS is going to prevent your visualization tool from showing. So I just want to make sure that you're able to achieve that. And where you're going to be able to find that is, again, on your front end in your interface. When you import the library here, drop down and make sure that once you've already dropped that widget here, you just want to go ahead and edit it again. Now, let's give it a try. And at this point, yeah, here we go. Now you have your weather app, and you can create a launch, abort. I think the weather's pretty nice, and you have a launch success. So what have we done today? What have we learned? You've done three main things, right? You've created a reactive web application in low code, and you were able to integrate the JS API. And number two, you've also created a library, so now you can create other decision apps, parody apps. Maybe you want to create a gardening app once you land on Mars. It's up to you. Like I said, thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any more questions, please go ahead and join us at our community. I'm happy to see you there.